I've got a guest with me today.
What's up, guys? My name is Brett Conti. I am a 24-year-old living in New York City. I own a clothing company, a skateboard company, and I also make daily YouTube videos.
Yeah, but your clothing company is what I want to talk about today, because I get a lot of questions about clothing companies, because I have some videos about one. I started one when I was in university. But unlike mine, yours is pretty successful.
Oh, well, thank you. I like to think so. Tell my parents that.
What made you start it? How did you get into it?
Okay, my grandfather owned a textile company.
Cool.
So as a little kid, I was always so intrigued about like fabrics and design and stuff like that. And when I was in, as you guys said, university, when I was in college, I just started sewing 5-panel hats, pocket t-shirts, snapback hats, all from scratch. And then, you know, turned into a brand.
That's amazing. See, I started mine in university as well.
Did you?
But,
okay.
I was like screen printing on existing t-shirts. So that's cool that you were making your own.
Yeah, yeah.
So where was this point where it was like this little thing? Like who did you sell to start with? Was it like friends and
yeah,
stuff like that?
Yeah, I feel like that's a good way to go with it, you know.
Yep.
Of course, like you don't want to invest too much money into it and then like have like all this inventory. So, you know, I started small. I was sewing everything myself, so it was easy to manage the inventory. But yeah, selling to people on campus, and then also I'm a big skateboarder, so through the skateboarding niche market, I was able to connect with them and sell to them, and then just eventually kept growing it.
So how did you grow it? What are some tips there?
Yeah, for me, selling, this was 4 years ago, back when brick and mortar stores were a lot more popular. I mean, they still are, but you know, it's kind of dying out where the internet's taking over.
Thanks to Amazon.
Yeah, exactly. So I was able to get it into a lot of small skate shops at first, and that helped spread the word, because then the employees would talk about how, you know, it's a local brand, and you know, give the whole story behind it. And the name of my clothing company is called Fortune, and I got the name from wanting to help the less fortunate and done stuff with the homeless here in New York City.
That's cool.
Toys for Tots. So having the employees of the stores know that and sell that to the customer, it made it a lot easier. Yeah,
like it's got a story behind it.
Exactly.
And a connection, right? Yeah. This is one of your t-shirts.
Yeah. Actually, like the signature thing that I like to do with Fortune is like a small front left chest hit, and then like a big back graphic.
Okay, so you were selling into stores, and that's how it was like growing. Now though, you've got like a warehouse, right? Like and it's like a big deal. Yeah. So how did you figure out all that stuff? Because I'm imagining that you didn't know that before you started.
All right, so you might not know this. There's a big chain store called Zoomies, and they have over 750 locations in America. Okay. They own chains in Canada, they own a different chain called Blue Tomato in Europe, and something else in Australia. So they're a massive company. And when I got my first like big purchase order from them, I was like, oh man, like I don't have a warehouse. I'm doing this out of my mom's garage. I had a purchase order with a cancel date, and I stayed up for 3 days straight trying to fulfill this order just like by myself. Had my friends come over, we had pizza, and they were helping me package stuff. And it was very stressful. I was like, all right, this was the first and last time I'm packaging an order this size with thousands of shirts. So after that, I just called everyone I knew in the industry, and you know, now have a whole fulfillment center that handles everything.
Nice.
So much better.
This is a design channel, so what about the designs? How does that process work?
Yeah, so I used to design everything, and now I come up with I would say about 90% of the ideas, and then now I have a full-time designer him and I will create a mood board. And you know, we'll go through Google Images and magazines, and after we have, you know, like a solid 10 to 20 images for our next collection, then from there we start like, oh, maybe a shirt like this would be cool, and just get inspiration. Also, being in New York City, so easy to get inspired for new graphics.
I found that
so easy. Sometimes when I'm having like a creative block, I just like go walk around, and then just the energy just
we'll go get a
comes
bubble
to
tea.
Go get a bubble tea and walk around. It's like, oh, I got ideas for days now.
So do you want to like give a plug? Where can people go buy your t-shirts?
Yeah, fortuneny.com.
There we go.
Check it out.
Yeah, check them out. Thank you for sharing some thoughts.
Of course.
Is there any one last tip for like building a clothing brand? What would be the main thing that you'd say?
Focus on building the brand and don't worry about sales at first.
Okay, I like that.
Don't look at like your sales numbers at first. Think about how you're growing the brand, and you know, maybe, and especially now, social media is so important. So
it's like the brand personality as well as the product.
Exactly.
I like it. Thank you for being on my channel.
Of course.
There'll be links to Brett, his YouTube channel, and store and everything in the description. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye. It's hilarious saying your name because everyone's going to make fun of the Concord jokes in the comments.
The what?
Have you ever seen that?
Brett.
I've seen it, Brett.
Brett.
Yeah.
What's your name again?
Brett.
Brit?
Brett.
Brit?
Brett.
Brit, like Brittany?
No, B-R-E-T.
Oh, Brett.
Yeah.